harsh slap echoed through the courtroom. Silence. Young Judge Maya touched her stinging cheek softly, eyes locked onto Officer Harris's arrogant smirk. Her robe hid shaking hands, but her eyes stayed calm, fierce. The courtroom murmured uneasily. The cops chuckled quietly, dismissing her youth, her gentle appearance. They hadn't noticed her judicial seal glinting subtly beneath her sleeve. Narrated CTA. Drop a comment if you believe respect should never depend on appearance. Tell us where you're watching from and hit that subscribe button right now. This story gives the best instant karma you've ever seen. You don't want to miss what happens next. This wasn't the first time. Maya recalled every sideways glance, every patronizing whisper from older colleagues who couldn't see past her youth, her gentle voice or soft features. Always judged, always dismissed. She learned to live with quiet pain, never anger, but Officer Harris's slap brought back every indignity she'd silently endured. Yet she stayed composed even now, breathing dignity despite humiliation. Around her, laughter rolled, whispers multiplied, proof of the injustice she quietly carried daily. Maya steadied her breath. The fight wasn't new, but today, something felt different. Maya straightened, quietly addressing Officer Harris. "I'm Judge Maya Reynolds. I'd advise respect." Her voice clear, calm, yet vulnerable. Harris laughed openly, mockingly. "Sure you are, sweetheart, and I'm the president." The crowd stayed quiet, some embarrassed, others indifferent. Harris leaned in closer, smugly whispering, "Stick to coffee runs." Maya's calm dignity seemed crushed. The crowd held its breath, sensing her defeat. Yet deep within Maya's eyes, something fierce and unwavering remained, a subtle promise that the story wasn't over. For a moment, the air felt thick, unbearable. Maya stood silently, the sting of humiliation fresh on her cheek. Officer Harris, arrogant and self-assured, exchanged amused glances with his fellow officers, oblivious to the quiet shift already underway. Then softly, the courtroom door creaked open, breaking the tension. Every eye turned to see Senior Clerk. Evelyn Carter stride swiftly toward the bailiff, her face flushed with urgency. She leaned close, whispering something rapid, yet unmistakably significant. Curiosity rippled quietly among the spectators. Officer Harris frowned, distracted from his moment of superiority. Maya remained poised, her gentle eyes fixed calmly ahead, hiding nothing yet revealing little. Finally, the bailiff stepped forward, clearing his throat. His voice trembled subtly, betraying the gravity of his announcement. "Officer Harris, step away from Judge Reynolds immediately." Harris chuckled dismissively. "Judge, this girl." The bailiff's expression hardened, voice firmer. "This is Superior Court Judge Maya Reynolds. You just assaulted a sitting judge." The words echoed sharply, ricocheting off courtroom walls. Harris's smirk vanished instantly, replaced by confusion, then disbelief. A profound silence enveloped the room. Every spectator seemed frozen in place, scarcely daring to breathe. "Judge Reynolds," Harris stammered weakly. The gravity of the revelation slowly seeped into his consciousness. His arrogant posture sagged visibly, replaced by dawning dread. The bailiff continued firmly, authoritative yet respectful. "Judge Reynolds presides over the Ninth Circuit Superior Court. Her rulings on police misconduct, civil liberties, and systemic injustice have fundamentally reshaped this city's policing policies, including your precincts." Harris blinked, visibly shaken. Around him, his fellow officers exchanged anxious glances, subtly distancing themselves. The realization that they'd grossly underestimated her was palpable. Judge Reynolds stepped forward gently yet decisively, her posture radiating quiet strength. She addressed Officer Harris directly, her voice calm, clear, unshakably dignified. "Officer Harris," she said softly, yet audibly enough for all to hear, You wear a badge intended as a symbol of honor and protection, but your actions today dishonored every officer who wears it faithfully. Harris opened his mouth to speak, but nothing emerged. His once confident gaze darted anxiously across faces, finding only judgment and shock. Maya's calm authority filled every corner of the courtroom, reshaping perceptions, restoring balance. Evelyn Carter spoke up, quietly respectful. Judge, Reynolds' judicial opinions have become case law nationwide. Her decisions have dismantled entrenched injustice. Officer, you didn't just disrespect a judge, you disrespected justice itself. Silence deepened again. Spectators leaned forward, feeling every heartbeat, every tense breath. Maya stood quietly dignified, allowing her gentle strength to silently reaffirm her authority. Harris lowered his head, eyes fixed on the polished courtroom floor, visibly shrinking under the weight of realization. His colleagues stepped back, distancing themselves from his irreversible disgrace. Judge Reynolds simply waited. No anger, no theatrics, just a quiet assertion of truth. Her gentle, unwavering presence spoke louder than any raised voice. Every spectator, every officer felt her power clearly now. In that moment, Maya's quiet dignity transformed the entire courtroom. Officer Harris knew his empire had begun crumbling. The silence spoke loudly, beautifully. Justice had quietly, irrevocably arrived. As silence resonated through the courtroom, each person slowly absorbed the magnitude of Judge Maya Reynolds' true identity. Murmurs rose quietly, carrying awe, embarrassment, and a newfound respect. Eyes shifted between Maya and Officer Harris, assessing the quiet storm of strength within the young woman they had so easily dismissed moments before. Suddenly, footsteps echoed gently from the back of the courtroom. Heads turned to see Deputy Mayor Elise Thompson approaching, her expression solemn and deeply respectful. Thompson stopped near Maya, pausing briefly to gather her thoughts. Her eyes met Maya's, communicating acknowledgement far more powerful than words alone. Judge Reynolds, she began clearly, respectfully, allow me to express our city's gratitude. Your tireless dedication to justice, your courage in facing entrenched corruption, and your quiet yet powerful integrity have consistently guided us toward real change. Your landmark rulings against police misconduct remain models nationwide. Each carefully spoken word seemed to magnify Maya's presence. Her previously overlooked dignity became undeniably apparent. The courtroom atmosphere shifted entirely, from skepticism and disrespect to reverent understanding. Thompson turned firmly toward Officer Harris, who now stood visibly diminished, unable to meet her gaze. Officer Harris, today you failed, not merely to recognize Judge Reynolds' title, but you failed to recognize fundamental human dignity. Harris tried desperately to reclaim lost ground. I had no idea who she was, he stammered weakly, pleading for sympathy. Deputy Mayor Thompson's voice remained steady, powerful, without anger. Precisely. Respect should never hinge upon someone's appearance, gender, or age. Judge Reynolds earned her position through exceptional merit. Your blindness was your failing, not hers. A ripple of acknowledgement passed through the courtroom. The spectators exchanged humbled glances, quietly absorbing the profound truth Thompson articulated. Harris stepped back involuntarily, his arrogance completely drained away, replaced by a stark awareness of irreversible consequences. Maya calmly stepped forward again, addressing Harris quietly yet authoritatively. Officer Harris, your actions today reflect exactly the injustices I've dedicated my life to correcting. But I do not seek vengeance, only accountability. Her steady gaze pierced through Harris's defenses, leaving him nowhere to hide. The courtroom collectively recognized the quiet force Maya embodied, the dignified justice she represented. Around her, postures straightened respectfully. Officers subtly adjusted their uniforms. Maya stood not in revenge, but in revelation, powerful and serene. In this transformative moment, viewers fully aligned with Maya's strength, understanding deeply, viscerally, they had underestimated the wrong judge. Judge Maya Reynolds stood calmly at the center of the courtroom, the quiet power of her authority undeniable. With every breath, her gentle demeanor conveyed strength far deeper than anger or confrontation ever could. The spectators waited, each understanding clearly that the next few moments would redefine justice in this courtroom. Maya turned to the bailiff, speaking softly, yet with unshakable confidence. Officer Harris is to be escorted immediately from this courtroom. Notify internal affairs and initiate a formal investigation into his conduct today, and a thorough review of previous allegations regarding misuse of power and excessive force. Her instructions were precise, delivered without anger or malice. Officer Harris's face turned pale, his bravado replaced by panic as the gravity of real-world consequences sunk in. His eyes darted desperately around the room, searching for support among his fellow officers, but each carefully avoided his gaze, recognizing clearly that Harris had crossed an irrevocable line. The bailiff approached Harris firmly, yet respectfully, placing a guiding hand on his shoulder. "Officer, please come with me." Harris moved numbly, understanding that resistance or further defiance would only deepen his disgrace. Judge Reynolds then addressed the room calmly, gently restoring clarity. "Respect is foundational to justice, not merely respect for authority, but respect for human dignity itself. Officer Harris's actions today violated that principle profoundly." She continued steadily, addressing the other officers present. "Each of you wears a badge, representing public trust. Abuse that trust, and you undermine everything justice seeks to protect. Remember clearly what happened today, not as punishment, but as a lesson." Around her, the room realigned silently yet powerfully. Staff members straightened their posture, eyes filled with fresh determination. Even those who had laughed earlier now stood respectfully silent, quietly remorseful for their complicity. A senior officer stepped forward hesitantly, addressing Maya with genuine humility. "Judge Reynolds, on behalf of our precinct, please accept my sincere apology. This is not who we should be, who we must be." Maya met his gaze steadily, nodding graciously. "Then make certain this lesson remains unforgotten." She spoke without pride, ego, or anger. Her voice carried only clarity and dignity, reshaping perceptions of justice throughout the courtroom. Officer Harris had been escorted away quietly, without spectacle, yet everyone understood that a profound shift had occurred. Judge Reynolds had reclaimed the courtroom not through force or outrage, but with the simple, quiet assertion of truth. Justice was restored calmly, powerfully, permanently. In the gentle stillness following Officer Harris's removal, a quiet yet profound shift unfolded within the courtroom. The atmosphere, previously tense and uncertain, softened noticeably as clarity and justice silently reclaimed their rightful places. Judge Maya Reynolds stood composed at the bench, exuding a quiet authority that filled every corner. Her gentle strength was unmistakably recognized, not through grand gestures or fanfare, but simply through the quiet dignity of her presence. Around her, whispered conversations replaced mocking laughter, humility replaced arrogance, and respect was genuinely restored. One by one, court officials approached Maya respectfully, offering sincere, softly spoken apologies. Their eyes communicated a newfound recognition, not just of her judicial authority, but of her profound moral integrity. Maya accepted each apology graciously, showing no bitterness, only a deep commitment to reconciliation and growth. Moments later, Officer Sarah Mitchell, a younger officer who had observed everything carefully, approached Judge Reynolds hesitantly. Her voice trembled slightly, betraying sincerity and self-reflection. "Judge Reynolds," Officer Mitchell began quietly, respectfully. Watching you today taught me something powerful. I've seen abuses of power and arrogance dismissed too, often, but you showed us what true leadership and dignity look like. Mitchell paused briefly, carefully gathering her thoughts before continuing earnestly. I want you to know, this moment has deeply changed how I view my role as an officer. Respect shouldn't be a privilege, it should be a duty. Maya listened attentively, acknowledging Mitchell's sincerity with a gentle nod. Thank you, Officer Mitchell. Maya responded warmly, her voice calm yet deeply reassuring. Real change begins precisely like this, with quiet self-awareness, accountability, and a commitment to justice. The courtroom itself felt transformed. Realigned by a renewed commitment to fairness and humanity, officers who'd earlier seemed indifferent or complicit now stood straighter, visibly humbled by the quiet yet undeniable strength Maya embodied. Officer Harris's colleagues exchanged subtle yet meaningful glances, silently acknowledging their responsibility. They recognized clearly that true respect and integrity demanded vigilance, courage, and humility, qualities powerfully demonstrated by Judge Reynolds. There were no cheers or celebrations, only thoughtful reflection, the gentle recognition of justice softly prevailing over arrogance. The benefit was unmistakable, felt not through punishment or vengeance, but through the quiet healing and reconciliation that filled the room. In those serene moments, viewers too felt the calm restoration of dignity. Judge Reynolds had quietly delivered justice, not loudly but meaningfully, reshaping hearts and minds profoundly, peacefully, and permanently. Long after Judge Maya Reynolds quietly exited that courtroom, the echoes of her dignified strength continued resonating profoundly through the city's justice system. That singular moment of calm courage didn't merely alter perceptions, it fundamentally transformed the culture within local law enforcement and judiciary practices, creating a ripple effect far broader than anyone initially imagined. In the weeks following Officer Harris's removal, the police department swiftly implemented mandatory sensitivity and accountability training for every officer. New policies emerged directly inspired by Maya's steadfast approach. Clear standards, emphasizing respect for all individuals regardless of age, gender, race, or status. Her courtroom incident became a pivotal case study, reminding officers citywide that badges conveyed responsibility, not immunity. Beyond policy changes, Maya's influence resonated most powerfully in quiet, personal transformations. Officer Sarah Mitchell, who had bravely approached Maya in the courtroom, became a vocal advocate within her precinct for ethical policing and accountability. Inspired by Maya's calm example, Mitchell openly mentored new recruits, encouraging humility and dignity as foundational principles in their service. The city also initiated the Judge Maya Reynolds Scholarship, annually awarding funds to young women aspiring toward legal careers focused on social justice. Each year, Maya personally attended the ceremony, quietly yet profoundly inspiring recipients with her gentle encouragement and powerful integrity. In City Hall, a subtle yet impactful photograph of Maya hung prominently outside the courtroom. The image captured Maya standing confidently yet humbly at her bench, the embodiment of quiet justice. This photograph served as a constant reminder to officials, attorneys, and law enforcement alike that true authority was earned through character, integrity, and humanity, not titles alone. Perhaps most significantly, Maya's quiet legacy unfolded within the minds and hearts of countless individuals who'd silently watched events unfold. Young people inspired by her example pursued careers in law and advocacy, determined to continue her work of challenging injustices through quiet determination and moral clarity. Even Officer Harris, years later, publicly reflected on the moment that changed his life, acknowledging his errors openly, contributing to restorative justice programs, and striving toward personal redemption. Maya never demanded vengeance. Instead, she fostered genuine accountability and transformative change. Judge Maya Reynolds herself never spoke publicly about that pivotal day again. She didn't need to. Her legacy moved forward silently yet powerfully reshaping policies, inspiring integrity, and profoundly influencing individuals throughout the city. When she walked away from that courtroom, she left behind something undeniably better, something quietly powerful, unforgettable, and profoundly enduring. As the story softly fades, take a quiet moment to reflect deeply on the courage you just witnessed. Consider carefully. What would you have done if that was you? Would you have responded with anger, fear, or calm dignity? If today's story resonated deeply, please take a moment to share your thoughts below. Your reflections matter. Like this video, share thoughtfully, and subscribe if quiet courage and real justice inspire you. Always remember, respect doesn't have to shout. It doesn't have to demand attention or prove power. Respect endures quietly, patiently, profoundly. Let this gentle truth guide your actions and shape your voice from today forward. Because in the end, respect doesn't have to be loud. It just has to be real.